think I can speak on behalf of everybody here and everybody watching that there's nothing we love more than seeing our friend and chef Ben under intense pressure.
And we've been sent some apples from Interfell Fruit and Veg from France and Taste France magazine, who are sponsoring this video. And we thought, wouldn't it be really fun to see how many apple dishes Ben can make in just 30 minutes?
And when the blood finally goes back to his head, he said,
Sure, we'll give that a go.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Are you feeling good?
Yeah-ish.
30 minutes on the clock starts now.
So we're going to start with probably what is the most classic French dish, an easy apple tart, and we're starting with Braeburn apple. Now, Braeburn is a good one because it's an excellent eater, but it also cooks nicely and holds its shape. All you need to do is peel it, core it, segment it.
apple number one, Braeburn, please. Yeah. Oh, you give me the core.
I haven't got time to feed you as well as cook. Some sugar and some butter. So it really is a celebration of the fruit at its very best, and it goes into a tart case, comme ci, comme ça.
He's done a lot of prep for this. A lot of prep.
Nothing has been pre-cooked.
Okay.
I want to stress that.
Okay. Wow, that is very un-Ebbers.
That goes into an oven, and we hope for the best. When it only has butter and sugar balancing out the apple, it's got to be an apple that is strong enough to stand up on its own in terms of flavour, but one that's not going to go mushy, one that's going to cook through, that's sweet and delicious. Hopefully the Braeburn will do that for us.
Now, that's apple number one, and I would say it's an apple.
Yes.
Like any tasting, it's always hard to work out where you start.
I feel like we're going to start learning about the different characteristics of apples side by side as we eat them.
That was a delicious apple, but I couldn't tell you what was different about it yet.
This is also a delicious apple, a French golden delicious apple. I'm just passing you the core, because why not? But basically I've chosen this one. It's a great eater, you can eat it on its own, but actually it's got a really tender skin. So really soft, quite a thin skin, which means it's perfect for grating because you don't have to peel it before you grate it.
It's juicier and sweeter, that one as well.
Yep, and it's got a nice white flesh. It's also a good one for baking. If you were just to do a baked apple, core it out and bake it, it's also delicious for that. In this instance, two things. One, breakfast. So an apple's worth into porridge oats, hazelnuts, sultanas with water and yogurt. Bircher muesli. So this is one of those things that you can do the day before. Get it in the fridge just before you go to bed because you can see how long it takes, as long as it takes to stir this up with one grated apple. You're putting in all of the skin of the apple, hence we've gone for golden delicious because it's nice tender skin, and essentially then you get all the fibre. Because apple, as a whole, with all of its skin as well, wonderfully high in fibre and therefore the good stuff, along with the oats. That will keep you going all day. It just needs to go in the fridge, please.
Yes, chef.
Ben, you've had 3 minutes.
So next up, something else sweet, the only other sweet thing we're really doing. It is a sheet cake. Apple and carrot with the added flavour of cinnamon. So cinnamon is a wonderful ingredient that works so well with apple. Another classic combination, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. In this bowl I have flour, cinnamon, a raising agent, baking powder, sugar, walnuts, and then the fat. So unlike other cakes, which would be maybe butter-based, often carrot cakes are oil-based, and essentially that's going to give us this. So it's the oil that's going in and gets mixed up, along with all of our grated apple, and, because it's also really seasonal, carrot.
I was expecting many dishes, but I wasn't expecting baking.
No, I'm already pretty impressed. You're coming up to the 5 minutes gone mark, Ebbers.
Okay, carrot also going in. Again, not bothering to peel it. Make sure it's clean and washed. But at this time of year, we're coming into root vegetable season as well. Carrot's a good example. Naturally very sweet. So if you add the carrot and the apple into this sheet cake, what it does is keep it really moist. So it's the kind of cake you can make and will keep for a few days because it will stay really moist. Apple and carrot in.
You're doing amazingly, mate. Like, this is great. You've got to keep it up.
So far, we've only used 2 different apples, the Braeburn and the Golden Delicious.
How many other varieties have you got?
Have I got, or that exist? I mean, there are thousands of apple varieties. We're going to see how many we can shoot in today. I'm not going to give you numbers because then I have to stick to them. I might change my plan. I might change my plan.
You have to be really careful with how you pronounce this dish, don't you? Because if I say, oh, I've made you a really sheet cake.
Right, that going into the same oven at the same time. Let's do some hot stuff. What I've got is some morteau sausage. So it's from the Jura in France.
Delicious.
It is like a garlicky, delicious sausage that literally hangs to cure and dry, and we want some chunks of it. If we saute that off with some apple, and we've chosen French jazz apple for this, the reason being it's quite an acidic, quite a sharp, quite a tart apple, but it's also very sweet, so it has that sweet sharpness, the balance that we love. And I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to keep the skin on. I'm going to go round the core so you keep as much of the apple usable as possible, and then cut it to similar sized pieces to the mortar sausage.
The sweetness and acidity, is that to cut through the fattiness and the garlickiness of the sausage?
Exactly that, spot on. And the bit you may have missed earlier, because I was running around, when I put the tart in the oven, I also put in a slice of brioche toast.
Yes.
Or bread at the time. I'm hoping it's nearly toast. So butter, mortar sausage, apple, not too much salt because the sausage can be quite salty, and a slice of toast.
This is so useful. When I go to the supermarket and I'm looking for apples, I get like apple paralysis.
Yeah.
I can't work out what one does what, because they, again, from a distance, they do look all the same.
You know, the red ones are going to be maybe a little bit sharper.
Yeah.
That's my rule, but I don't know.
And I wish that was a rule, but
Yeah.
with so many varieties, it's really not. They say, you know, keeping healthy, eat the rainbow. I mean, you can get a fair way down with just apples, right? Red and orange and yellow and green. You can do so many of them just with apples. But you need to balance the flavours if you're using it in savoury, and that's where tarragon comes in. So think about the flavour combo: garlic, apple, sweetbread. Tarragon has got this kind of aniseed flavour, which is absolutely delicious. And in a short amount of time, that will go in with our mortar sausage and will go on toast. This is a great breakfast. Right, I'm coming over here and I'm going to do some French gala apple. So gala apple, basically I'm going to Parisian spoon because it's going to do a lot of the presentation work for me. Why gala? It's one of the sweetest but very aromatic apples. So we can get these nice little sort of apple balls and we can add it to chive. However, by doing that, you end up with a lot of waste on an apple. We don't like waste here at Sorted. So I'm going to chop it down the same way before with the core. It's therefore pretty much already chopped up, and that's going to go into a pan to make some chutney.
Wow.
Right, so into this pan, I've got some delicious raisins, which have been soaked in Calvados. They're going to go in and splash up and reduce right down. As that reduces down, we're also going to add in all of our apple offcuts, which is gala apple. We're going to add in our cheat secret fried onions. So you've got that caramelisation of fried onion, you've got the flour that coats them, that makes them crispy. We're going to make them soggy again, but basically by putting them in there, you end up with this thickening agent. A little dollop of mustard, whole grain mustard at that. And so far we've got a lot of sweetness, so some vinegar from some apple cider vinegar. That will bubble away, and maybe in 10 minutes we can turn it into a chutney.
He hasn't finished anything yet, which says to me a lot's going to happen in the last few minutes.
Yeah, lots is going to come together.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see.
There's pressure.
Adding some finely chopped chives into our gala apples. And that is actually the simplest garnish ever. Still needs a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper.
We know how well salt and pepper and apples work.
Jumping around multiple boards, but a cheek of lemon, because lemon and fish always work. We'll come back to that.
At home, my fruit bowl is always like bursting with apples. But I always see that as a snacking bowl, not a cooking bowl.
Yeah.
Learning to cook it in different ways is a really useful way of getting it into your diet.
Also, you hear the phrase, that's a cooking apple, not an eating apple. Ah, nice.
What?
Good speed hack.
Mackerel and oily fish, I'm just going to basically cook it until it blackens up. It doesn't take long. This is why I've chosen to use this method. You can absolutely do it under a grill. I'm doing it on a metal tray, which will also get hot and therefore cook it from the underside as well. The freshness of the oily fish with the aromatic gala apple and the allium of chive, a little bit of lemon, that dish is pretty much done. Notice I've lifted it off the work surface so we're not melting the work surface. A nice blackened skin. Done.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
As is this. Nice colour on our apples and morto sausage. Tarragon goes in. Toss, 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 toss. And that goes over brioche bread for the best sausage on toast. Which you didn't even know was a thing.
No, but it
Dish
is.
one, well done.
Well done, one.
First dish done.
A little bit of oil and some scallops going in here. The scallops are going to be lovely and rich, and they're going to be put on a plate with Granny Smith. So on to the next apple. Granny Smith, quite a
classic.
familiar apple. Delicious because it is crisp, so it's got an amazing texture. It's also really tart, because in a minute I'm going to throw some butter at those scallops, and then we're going to flambe them. So really rich, apple calvados flambe with butter and the meatiness but the sweetness of scallop. You want some julienne of Granny Smith. That in a bowl, a little bit of lemon, that will just stop any oxidization. But actually the good thing about this is it's an apple that doesn't oxidize too much. And if you remember a while ago, we did perfect food pairings. Black pepper and apple.
That's it.
That's it. That's literally it. At this point, a little bit of butter. So you get that brown butter vibe going on around it.
Wow, they are going to be amazing.
First time we'll test the fire in this room, flambe. So you're flambeing the scallop around apple calvados. Absolutely delicious.
Oh, wow.
We take them out of the pan, or rather we take the pan off the heat, and we just let them do their residual. How are we doing on time?
You have 13.5 minutes remaining.
That is unfortunate. Right, mackerel. Onto the plate, our delicious aromatic gala apple, tossed, seasoned with chive. The simplicity is good, and we garnish.
2 dishes.
Yes, well done.
Scallops, 1, 2. They will continue to rest a little bit on the plate even. 3 is the magic number. These are going to be swimming in a beautiful, beautiful calvados butter.
Wow.
And we finish with the sharpness and the crispness that is a really impressive little starter. Again, you're celebrating the fruit when they're in season and the right choice of fruit. That's where we end up.
He's going to run out of counter space to start.
Definitely.
Unless you just stick with 3, Ben.
3's the magic number, apparently.
There we go.
Lovely.
Okay.
3
These
dishes.
look great. I'm fascinated to see how they eat.
Are we
This
happy
is
to stop
really
there?
Great.
Have we got any more?
No.
No, there's loads of time.
You've got 12 minutes left.
Right. I'm going to start juicing some apples, and we'll use the juice a few different ways. This is a brand new juicer. I've never used it before. I got it out of the packet this morning. So jazz apples, beautifully delicious and juicy, but also still quite tart and acidic. So whatever we do with this apple juice, it will be really fresh and zingy and have the acidity that we can use in a number of different places. So on the back, let's see how this works. So we've got this beautiful, really sharp, cloudy apple juice coming through here. Chutney bubbling away, need to loosen it off a little bit. So here's my thinking. Jazz apples, really, really tart and acidic, so great for a dressing. So olive oil, dill, salt, pepper, and a little bit of Dijon mustard with apple juice in place of the vinegar because they're really sharp. It's not going to be quite as acidic, but it will make a delicious dressing. So you shake that up and you have an apple vinaigrette. You're using a sharp apple, you've got the acidity of some Dijon mustard in there, you've got the oil. Really, really super and delicious. We'll let the flavours mingle while we put some goat's cheese in the oven.
So after 10 minutes, he was puffing. After 20, he's sweating. Like, the pressure's building.
No space in my oven. Right, juice.
He's just going to put that in a glass.
I'm going to add into here.
Not.
Oh, I should measure it.
Oh, this is exciting. Yes.
An appletini.
An appletini.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, classic.
Fantastic. You've already got a lovely crema on those apples there already.
So, vodka over ice, dry vermouth, apple juice, and again, this is why we're using the jazz apples. It's nice and sharp, quite sharp enough to cut through, so a little squeeze of lemon. That's it. Appletini, ice cold, apple, vodka, vermouth.
Oh, beautiful.
Squeeze of lemon, but the freshness of that jazz apple, which is obviously sweet and tangy in equal measure. I'm also going to throw a chef's favourite ingredient, some celery, into our juicer. I'm going to add another carrot, because why not? For colour, for natural sweetness, for kind of earthiness.
What's this for, though?
A sofrito cocktail berry.
And I'm also going to add some grapes for tang.
Your step count's going to be incredible at the end of this. Ben, 6.5 minutes left.
Excellent. Really, really quick, delicious, delicious salad dressing.
Yep.
For some carpaccio of beef. So we're going to do basically a fine dice of cucumber, chili, roasted sesame oil, lime juice, and you might be saying, where's the apple in this dish?
Yeah.
It's a great question. Candine. It's a brand new apple to me. It's one I had not previously tried.
I've never heard of
It's
Candine.
absolutely delicious. So we're just going to take just enough to do the same kind of fine dice. Give you the rest to taste. It's absolutely delicious. I had one of these for breakfast this morning. It is so juicy and so sweet.
Oh my goodness.
And you combine that with the acidity of the lime, the chili, the
The
sesame
most
oil,
shockingly different one so far.
and the
Almost
cucumber.
melon-like.
Yeah,
really-
aromatic. I think it's a good description. Really aromatic.
That is so juicy.
And it's just going over our beef carpaccio. So wafer thin slices of fillet beef and this fresh, fruity apple, slight spice, the sesame oil to dress, seasoned just with salt, with some shiso cress. The next dish.
Well done.
Number 5. You get 1
5.
clap from Barry. That's how impressed he is.
Keep going. Oh, sweat rags out. Woo. We're nearly there.
You've got it.
Right.
This is incredible.
So this is now our juice. Remember, jazz apple, carrot, celery, and a few grapes. It's a beautiful morning juice that is full of all the goodness. You're balancing out sweetness, earthiness, deliciousness. That's the next one, morning juice.
Okay.
6.
Got some Granny Smith left.
I took a bit of bite of that one. Oops. How's your cake looking?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Will it get there in 3.5 minutes, do you think?
Not sure.
Oh!
However, what we do have, Bircher muesli from last night. And this one's raw.
Last night?
Yeah, I said I wasn't pre-cooked anything, this one's raw.
Okay.
So Bircher muesli
Nice.
Dish
okay.
number 7.
with some delicious apple, and somewhere, what did I do with them?
This is a class act.
This is
him at
really
his
quite
best.
impressive.
It's quite annoying, isn't it?
That's brilliant.
Okay, goat's cheese nice and softened, not quite to my liking.
Do you think there's enough goat cheese there?
It's a goat's cheese salad.
Yeah, it is. Glorious.
That is going on top of our salad. And remember our dressing, which has now been zhuzhed. It's got the apple juice, it's got the dill. It's just going to drizzle all the way over.
Yes.
And you dress it. It's got a combination of salad leaves, bitter leaves, beetroot and pecans. And
Dish number 8.
apple vinaigrette.
Done.
With 1 minute and 45
He
seconds
can do
remaining.
it. Come on, 2 more.
Come on,
I just want
2
2 more.
We have a cake.
Oh, yes.
Is it cooked?
Yep.
Oh,
You
I'm not sure.
led us to believe that that wasn't going to get done.
He's full of sheet cake, isn't he?
Come on.
Oh, it looks good.
It's a beautiful piece of sheet cake. You would never serve it hot.
Piece of shit.
You would let it absolutely cool down. But you can see that's only taken 20 minutes to cook because it's nice and thin. Apple and carrot sheet cake.
Number 9. 1 minute to
left.
go.
The 10th has changed slightly.
You're not going to
He's
cook
got his chutney. He's got the chutney.
The
He
chutney.
hasn't got the he hasn't got the cauliflower dish that he was going to do.
You can do this, Ebbers.
I don't know if he can.
Yes, he can.
The chutney just needs blending. Optional, because actually some people really like it chunky. But this is a beautiful condiment.
40 seconds remaining.
There's some pressure now. Come on.
And that becomes, as a recipe, something you could absolutely put in a kilner jar and serve to friends on a cheese board. You could wrap it up as a gift. I'm going to be honest, I was hoping to serve it with some delicious cauliflower fritters. We may have run out of time. How long?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Apple tart. Apple tart.
That's it. Is that 11? Ebbers.
Well done.
We've no idea whether they taste good, but they look amazing. Looks, tick. Smells, tick. Taste, TBD.
Dig in. Make sure you get a little bit of apple, a little bit of tarragon, a little bit of sausage.
It's a Morto sausage and apple on toast.
Little
Really
fleck
nice.
of
Really delicious.
tarragon.
The apples are almost stewed in terms of the sweetness, but they've got a really
Still
nice bite.
Still there, isn't it?
Like,
Yep.
that is fantastic.
Which is that choice of jazz.
Works so well with the butter. I'm spooning some Bircher.
Do that, I'll have an appletini.
That's your breakfast.
No, but wow.
Good?
Yeah.
Slice of apple on that.
Yeah.
You need that tartness, don't you?
You need the texture and the crunch as well. Where next? Scallops. I'm
Should do some
buzzing
scallops.
for this.
Make sure you get some apple and some Calvados butter. Sour,
Sam, yeah.
super sweet and
There's
fragrant.
a lot of booze in there, but you're getting all the apple as well.
Oh, that is just a really fun apple juice. Wow. This is the one that I've been most wanting to try.
And you haven't overcooked it at all.
And then just black pepper and Granny Smith.
Wow.
And look, when you pick all these apples, it's about knowing, it's a combination you like, right?
That is great. The profile that particular apple brings to that mouthful is like perfect. It's like every single flavour point is hit.
And it's one we're so familiar with,
That's
we probably
outstanding.
don't think about cooking with as a Granny Smith.
What's happened there?
That's the recipe. You can jar it, you can cheese board it, whatever, but I've just finished off some cauliflower fritters so you can dip
Couldn't
it.
help yourself.
While we were doing sexies, I did those.
We are benefiting from this. Oh, that warm, fruity sweetness.
And yes, a good choice of apple and apple cider vinegar, but for me, it's about making sure nothing goes to waste. you know we're always keen on sustainability and food waste and making sure you make the most of it. The Parisian apple had food waste, no longer it's in here.
I want that in a sandwich.
You can, that on a cheese sandwich would be amazing.
That is such an interesting chutney.
Apple balls.
Presentation's everything. We've got julienne here, we've got a dice there, but the Parisian ball gives it just a little bit of difference. Otherwise, it's chive, and then an oily fish with a charred skin. You know what I mean?
It's a lively apple.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost perfumed, and I think you lose the perfume when it's in with the calvados and the apple cider vinegar and everything. You got used to the waste, but on its own, on a plate with some smoky fish or charred fish. Keep moving.
Enjoy that sandwich.
You can do that. We're just going to say the same thing.
Still good, right?
It's all great. It's all great. It tastes as good as it looks.
And we know that it's good because of where we got them. Rather than just like one apple, start doing diversity of apple, because diversity of apple is diversity of cropping. It's good for farmers, it's good for soils. Make sure you know where they come from, and then make sure you don't waste any. Like, sustainability is key too. Lime and chili, apple and sesame.
This is candine, isn't it, as well? Oh, what a salsa.
You could put that salsa on anything. That warmth of that chili and the apple is awesome. What a combo.
It would also work beautifully with fresh tuna as a carpaccio. And then we can move to dessert. I give it a little bit more char as it came out the oven, because whilst it was cooked, I just wanted a little bit more char on it.
Okay.
So technically we're taking this one away from you, is what you're telling us.
I'm saying technically it was cooked. Technically for sexies it needed a bit of blowtorch.
Delicious. Everything you hoped and imagined from an apple tart.
That's great.
And given it is just apple, that's why you choose Braeburn. Lots of other options that do a similar job, but it holds its form, it doesn't go mushy, but it's really appley, intense and rich.
I'd never considered the profile of individual apples in dishes, honestly, until watching you do that. And I feel like I've learnt tons. I almost feel like I need a summary sheet because there's so much stuff there.
I think my summary sheet would be, think about textures and shape, think about textures and where the apples sit on sweet to tart.
Yep.
Sometimes you get extra things like their cooking ability or their aromats, but actually is it a tart apple or a sweet apple, and what's its texture, because that will tell you whether you do that with it or whether you do that with it.
Yeah. Absolutely stunning. Stealing that, amazing. And yeah, all of them. Well, over to you guys. How do you think Ben got on? Which was your favourite dish of the 11, and how do you use apples?
And a big thank you to Interfell Fruit and Veg from France and Taste France magazine for making all of this happen.
You can put the cameras down now and come and try some.
I like that I just gave them the credit. He's just done all that work. Thank you, you did this.